So you kind of grew up in a musical family, let's just say. Your dad, your grandfather, Lewis, but it kind of goes back further than that a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes back. My family's kind of like your traditional Appalachian family, I guess. We're in the Ozarks. My great-great-grandfather Lacey played fiddle. My grandpa, he played guitar, played music, but my grandpa Lewis was the one that really got the bug and really got into playing music for a living, I should say, or as supplemental income, whatever you look at it. He made extra money with it. And it all kind of started, everybody assumes, that all my black background will be just bluegrass, but Grandpa really got started, really got into it. Hank Williams Sr., Hank Snow, Jimmy Webb, all these old greats, that the original but the original honky-tonk country stars of the first era of it is really where it stems from the most, I'd say.
Right. Did you even have a choice growing up? So you were going to play? My
dad talks, I compare my childhood to like my dad, he always said, I got drugged to every bluegrass festival, fiddle contest, in the states touching, anywhere we could go that there was a jam, we were there.
Right.
And when I was young, it was still in a time when there was a few of the old timers that were still having what we call pickings. It just doesn't happen as much anymore. But, once or twice a month, we'd go to somebody's barn or house. People baked pies, brought food. Everybody played music. It goes back to that old rural America, play for entertainment. And it was kind of I saw, not necessarily the last, but around our parts here in Cherokee County, I don't see that as much anymore. But it was nice as a kid to have that much exposure, to old-time music.
Did you ever stray away from the bluegrass genre in your playing? Did you ever experiment with blues or rock or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I just came in and decided one day, hey, I'm gonna play bluegrass. That's all I'm gonna do. I commend that. That's great. But I love it all, and I always have as a kid. My first guitar, my dad got for me. I never had any interest in it. When I was about 10, he had a mandolin. I picked it up. I really loved Sam Bush. Newgrass Revival was like my favorite band as a kid. Then he traded the mandolin. I didn't have a guitar for a while. And then my neighbor got a guitar. And we were kind of, not necessarily in competition together, but, we were neighbors and, how young boys are. And I was like, well, hell, if you can play the guitar, I'm going to learn. My dad's a great guitar player. So right then I decided about 11 or 12 that I wanted to play the guitar. And it just kind of, I didn't really pick it up seriously until I was about 15, and about that time was everybody wanted to play Nirvana and collective soul songs. That's what I learned, just like any kid that plays guitar. My first songs were not bluegrass. I didn't have any interest in sitting down and just playing some bluegrass tunes yet, But about 15, 16, I found an old a bag of tapes that my dad made that were all really progressive, bluegrass and jazz and all this stuff, and it just something literally clicked in my mind that day, and I decided I want a flat pick guitar. But I never stopped incorporating the other types of music, blues and rock and roll, mainstream music, all of it, the hip hop even, I've tried, been my main goal as a guitar player, is to try and incorporate my music into all that and that music into me, and not just accept being a flat picker and stuck in bluegrass with it. Not that that's not great, but they're all great in bluegrass. Everybody's good, It's been a goal for me in my mind to spread what I do into other genres of music more than it already has been. So to answer your question, yes, I enjoy all aspects of music. I really do.
Well, you have a child now. What's the game plan with her? Are you going to do teach her the same way, put it in her hand and say, you better learn it by midnight, or, or
well,
let her do whatever she wants?
Let her, everybody's kid loves to play and bang around on stuff, but I can see it in her, she has an interest, she loves music, she hears music, she's keen on it, most kids are, but I'm just going to make it available. It's what my dad did, he never forced it upon me. He only gave me a little bit and made me hungry for it, and there was a certain age when I know that he had hoped that was the way it was going to go, because he didn't want to pressure me into it, because that's the worst thing you can do. And that's kind of the approach I want to take. You know, I wouldn't mind getting somebody to teach her how to play piano because I never really learned how to play piano, and I would like to know. I don't know how to play piano, but I would like for her to get into music if she wants to. I'm going to really push the fiddle.
When you were younger, you got an opportunity to play at the Grand Ole Opry. How did that even come about, and how old were you, by the way? You were young.
I was 18, maybe going on 19. It's just all just who you know kind of thing. There's a guy, his name's Max Boydston. He's a family friend of ours, more than a family friend. He's like an uncle, I guess I should say, more than anything. Been a friend my whole life. And him and Vince Gill played in a band called Mountain Smoke back in the 70s. You may have heard. They have little Mountain Smoke reunions. Well, Max and Vince have been longtime friends ever since
They opened
then.
up for Kiss back in the day.
Yes, yes. And this was even before Pure Prairie League and some of the other stuff that Vince got into. But Max introduced my dad to Vince, and Dad and Vince became quick friends. And Dad went down and did some pretty good size shows with him here and there. And I remember, you know, going to Vince Gill concerts as a kid, and it was just like seeing one of Dad's buddies. You know, here's this really famous guy, but he's just so cool. He doesn't even seem like it. And that's how it started. And there was a gap, you know, for a few years. Things changed in my family, and I wasn't around that scene that much. And then as I got older, I became a guitar player, and I was going out to these big guitar seminars in Maryville, Tennessee, and I just got a phone call. I was in Maryville in eastern Tennessee. I get this phone call. Hey, Thomas, this is Vince. I was going to see if you wanted to come down to Nashville and pick. I'm like, what? You know, I get this, Vince who, you know, and, oh, Vince Gill. I'm like, you know, well, let me check my schedule to make sure I can make it, you know. So I got to go down and hang out and get the tour of the original Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman Auditorium, I should say. And I got to hang out with Vince, and he was playing with Stuart Duncan and Jeff White and Barry Bells and Charlie Cushman, some really greats out of the bluegrass circle, you know. And I got to hang out and play backstage, pick songs out, got to join them, do a couple on stage, and it was just a really surreal thing that I really, even as an 18 or 19-year-old kid, I still didn't have the same appreciation I do now. But I'll never, ever forget getting to do that, and it's always the pinnacle of my career to this point, getting to be a part of that, you know. And I don't know what else you could say. You know, you get to hang out with Vince. To me, he's just the epitome of Americana music right now. He's done it all.
Well, you're not doing too bad, man. You're playing, doing some stuff with the Turnpike Troubadours, and that's been something you've been doing.
Yeah.
For what, about 4 or 5 years now, off and on, when they come into the area.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I remember, I think the very first time I'd met RC, and RC had the Big Whiskey Saloon downtown, and I played a show down there with Jason Boland one night, and it was ridiculous. But that's how I met RC, was back about that time, and I feel bad if I'd met him before then, but I'm pretty sure that was when I started knowing him. But I was doing I used to always do a weekly show in town. I was doing one at the original Town Branch, and they all showed up one night, you know, and I got to meet Evan and the guys that were in the group, because I think they had played in town. But anyways, they were wanting to play on a Wednesday night, and I was like, yeah, you know. And it was from that moment that I met Evan, and I love all those guys, but me and Evan just kind of clicked because we both enjoy fishing and hunting so much. But I don't know, it's just kind of been like an out-of-body experience, because like I don't want to be the guy that rides the coattails by any means. But it's been really nice to have some people that I hold at such high regard, you know, ask me for an idea or ask me to come play a guitar part on their album, because it's like a huge honor to me. It's the biggest thing.
Do you normally play a lot of the same songs every time, or is it like, you know, a different show, well, they'll ask you to play different songs? Or is there a set thing that you do?
There's never really a set thing. Evan will be like, I got 4 or 5 I want you to do with us tonight. Look over this, and I'll pick out some tunes with him, and he'll be like, let's do it. Like, you know, we might go in the back of the bus, me and him and Ryan real quick, and work on the parts so that we can trade them right. But it's always just kind of that loose guest appearance, Tahlequah type. Even though it's at such a high level, it's still that that Oklahoma type, hey, let's get together and pick on stage and have fun. And that's what I really like about what they do. Even at such a high level, they're still so relaxed and can enjoy it. And have the ability to invite friends up like John Fulbright or me or anybody that might be there that could play. They're a bunch of really humble individuals that are really doing something good for music, and I enjoy it. And it just really feels good to have had a little part of it, you know, in some sense, I guess.
Who would you like to work with that you haven't had a chance to yet? I mean, you've worked with some people before, so there's got to be some people out there that you're going, man, if I could just get the chance, just meet the right person, you know, have them come see me, or, you know.
Oh, yeah, I got lots of them, man. Guy Clark's always been a big one for me, you know. But that's just, you know, that's a huge hero. But right now, people that are really working and doing it, you know, Fulbright's one of them. Me and him have never really just shared, you know, a show, or I've never stood and played a show, and I really appreciate everything he does because he's so different, and that's what I like, you know. But that's an easy one, you know, to say, just because I really appreciate what John does. I want to play with everybody. I don't really know if anybody gets, I don't know what else to say. There's just every chance I get with any person that can get up there, I want to. And it's not me wanting the spotlight or anything. I just love to play music, and I like to get put in positions that it's different and it's fun. And so there's so many great artists out there, you know.
So what you're saying is, if Michael Bolton were to give you an invitation, you'd take it?
I would drive my Honda to the show. I mean, Michael Bolton, you know. No, I don't know, yeah. Why wouldn't you go play with him?
Why not? It's probably going to be sold out.
Yeah, there's so many greats. I don't even know where to begin. You know, I've been blessed to play with so many people. Right now, there's a wealth of good music around our town, around our state, and around our region, and I'm going to try and worm into every bit of it I can.
Okay, last question. What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This song's called Who Really Cares. I just wrote it about everybody being in everybody's business. To get by, and I do it for nothing, then wonder why. Some call me a brother, and some call me a friend. You might call me a rounder, hey, if you knew where I've been. I don't wear out my welcome, I never stay long. If I'm not what you needed, consider me gone. So who really cares if I get stoned? Lock all the doors and stay at home all alone. It's a God-given right to do as I please. I don't worry about you, don't you worry about me. You know, I'm not one to gamble, I'm too scared to try. I can't let go of something that's so hard to come by. But if fighting's your game, I warn you, my friends, that you throw the first punch, I bet you I'll win. And now who really cares if I get stoned? Lock all the doors and stay home all alone. It's a God-given right as I please. I don't worry about you, don't you worry about me. Well, my business is mine, and none of it's yours, and you all have to know. And I wonder what for when there's too little time to waste it on me. So look somewhere else, you know that I ain't for free. Now who really cares if I get stoned, lock all